morning, everybody. I'm a little sore this morning. That rain's got me aching. Just a little bit sore. I'm gonna finish cleaning this up. I'm gonna start assembly. Get this thing bolted all together. Hopefully I have all the bolts for it. I also have to put the transmission cross member in, which needs a little bit of modification. These are the two cross members that he purchased for the car. Neither one of them work. So what I'm going to do, you gotta remember, we put a 4L80 in this, so it's a little bit longer than the other transmissions. The pan fits perfect right here. This hits the pan. I was just going to spin this around, put it on this side, but the adjustable mount that he bought has two holes instead of the one, like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this off, and then I'm gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna take this, spin it around to this side, and weld it back on. That will bring it back far enough, clear the pan, and be able to get that tranny mount bolted down. It shouldn't take me all that long to get that done, but it does need done. Let's see. He left this tranny mount, which that's the center pin. We're not using it. He's got a full adjustable one. We're going to use that one. All right, let me finish picking some more of this stuff up here, and then I'll bring you back. All right, let's see what we got up under here. right, so we got this. We go right there. And you can see it clears the pan, but this is in the way. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and cut this off, which shouldn't be all that hard because they didn't even weld part of it. We'll get that cut off there, get it cleaned up, and then I'll get the other piece cut. Yeah, I'll get the other piece cut and tack it on here and test fit it before I go welding. All right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mark this so I can get center. Right there. All right, now this one I'm gonna do the same thing. If my marker will work. And then I'm gonna set this up like this right here. And then I'm just gonna trace. Now I want this to have a nice tight fit. So, I'll run that right there. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut this out and then I'm gonna grind that down so when I put it up here, it's nice and tight all the way across. All right, I'll do a little bit cleaner job of laying it out. I didn't like the look of it. Right there. Okay. Let's go 1/2 inch right there. Let's go 1/2 inch right there. Okay. Let's come out, let's make it 2 inches. See there, it wouldn't have been even. So, that's better. That's mo better. Just like so. All right, now I want a nice radius. And you know, gotta make it look somewhat presentable. All right. Now I'll cut across there, there, and there, and then I'll grind the radiuses. Now to get that cleaned up. Really? Alright. We'll do this a different way. I don't know if this will hold it or not. Nope, not gonna hold it level. Well, that sucks a donkey turd through a straw. Eyeball it is. Alright, line those up. All right, that was Adam. After I got off the phone, I got to looking at this, and this ain't gonna work the way I got it sitting right here, you know. You know, this is the top of the bracket here. This has to be flush because of the way that it is. That bracket needs to go back and forth, and you can see if that mount's sitting on top of there and you try to adjust it back, what's it gonna do? So I'm gonna take that off there like so. And I'm gonna do this. Set that over there. And we're going to start over. And we're going to set that up there for right now. And then we're going to set this right here like a weld table, which, yeah, I really do need to get me a weld table. Here, bring you back here. Just like so. All right, and get my ground hook back up without knocking my plate off of there. We're going to set this upside down like that. And then we're going to set that right there. That's going to help me keep it straight too. Look at that. Nice and flush. All right. Now let's get up under there and test fit. You know, guys, in my channel, I don't like that bolt. I'm gonna have to get a different bolt. It's just too loose. You know what? That ain't even gonna work. That's just too low. Just, well, I would, let's see. I would put it in the top holes, but then I'm getting a little too close to the oil pan here. And I don't want that. I'm gonna have to step that up. Ouch! Dope! Coked up my noggin. For one thing, I'm gonna change them bolts. Too loose, too loose. Okay, so right there, let me grab my tape measure. This will be right there, so I need to step that up 1 inch. It would be okay if this was 1 inch taller, but it's not. And I'm gonna have to get some more bolts. I don't know if I got any long enough over there, but and what I was saying is, in my channel here, I like to show what I do, because, you know, there's a lot of people out there, you know, I might be learning too. That's why I show everything. If I mess up, I show you. You'll see, hey, well, he messed that up, so I'll have to do it a different way. But I like to show how I do stuff, and I like to see how other people do it. Am I the best out there? Heck no. No. I'd never say that. Always learner, you don't grow. But I like showing what I do. I like helping people on their projects. And together we can keep this hobby alive. Come with me and you'll see a world of OSHA violations. Perfect. Okay, now I need my small vice grips. I don't think these are gonna work too good. Maybe. All right, let's see how it looks. All right, I got a couple bolts that are close to being long enough. I'm gonna have to get some more. I made it too tall. Why did I make it too tall? Ah, I see. That should have been down below. Well, let me get that modified. All right, let's see. That's much better. Yeah, I like that. All right, now it's time to weld it up. So what I did was I leaned that back and dropped that down. Now I'll weld that up, and I'm gonna cut this top corner right here flush with this plate. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna take a piece of scrap here and I'm gonna put it right there and tack it on. You might be asking, well, why are you doing that? Well, when I weld that up, there's going to be a lot of heat. I don't want it to move. That just created a gusset to hold it in place. So, yeah. All right. I think I'll weld the inside first. And then I'll cut that off and weld the outside. Nice. All right. Gotta plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. I should grab my shield too. I'm gonna let that cool for a little bit before I pop that brace off there. What do you think? I think it'll be fine as frog hair. That's a close fit. I like it. Oh, come on now, there we go. Not quite enough. Let's go ahead and throw these nuts up here. I said up there, not down there. All right. The paint's just a little sticky yet. Let's see. There we go. I can't see because that light's a blinding me. Well, I got the bigger bolts, but the holes are like that close. There we go. I know it'll work. I just gotta. Hold on. I told you guys. I told you. Hang with me and you'll see a world of OSHA violations. Yeah, I'm not gonna show you what I did. Well, I will. Hold on. Man. Nice tight fit. I like it. All right. It was a tight squeeze, let me tell you a thing or three. Okay. I lost my nuts. Never fear, I found them. All right. I don't know, can you see both sides? Nope, nope. How's that? You know what? Why am I using this? I'm going to get my impact. I went and picked up a couple bolts and lock nuts for that. You know what? That won't work. All right, back to the ratchet. Oh. It's a little warm today, guys. I might actually take my long sleeve shirt off. What do you think? Plenty of clearance. If he needs to pull the pan down, he can get that pan out. I don't know what he's got to do with that. It's going to be fun to put a ratchet on, but there we go. What do you think, guys? You'd never know it wasn't made for this car. I like it. Well, I think I need to put a little bit of air in the front. Now that we've repaired the lines, and I popped them apart again today so I could run that line through a hole to keep that line up off the ground so it's not pinching. I don't want to let it all the way out right here. In fact, I really don't need to let it down anymore. Guys, my tendonitis is absolutely killing me today. I think for a minute I'll be done with the hose. Let me get this out from under it here. Oh man, that weather has got it muggy. One thing about Ohio, it might be snowing and blowing one day, and the next day 85 degrees and 140% humidity. You just never know. All right, next up, assembly. Yeah, next up is assembly. You know what? I forgot to put those fittings in that transmission. That sucks. He wanted me to put those in the transmission while I got it up in the air. I forgot all about it. Well, I'm gonna leave them right there because I will have to go back up again. I know it. Well, next up is assembly. I'm gonna start with the deck lid. Get it mounted, and I'll just work my way forward. Get the gas door, which if I remember right, I gotta pick up some screws for it. I might have them. And then I'll just slide up here and get the doors put on. The doors is going to take me a little bit of time, but I've got my door jacks, so it won't be hard labor like normal. Once I get the doors aligned, I want to make sure all my gaps look good, and then I'll go to the front end. I have to assemble the inner fenders onto the fenders first, just because of the way they're designed, which I don't agree with it, but that's the way it is. I can get this fender hung, that fender hung, then I get the radiator support put up in place and tie all that together. Then come up here and get the cowl vent put on and the hood. It took longer than I thought it was going to do that transmission cross member, but I wanted it to look good too. Yeah, he has got plenty of clearance. We got that slid forward. Generally, your pulley should be about where the sway bar is. It could have went back just a little bit farther, but it is good right there. You got plenty of clearance for your headers. Hey JG, there's those headers Adam was talking about. Got the band clamps on them. But yeah, I think I'm going to close this video out right there. Just leave this one as a transmission cross member video. I know this video comes out on Friday, so you guys have a blessed weekend, and I'll see about putting up another dually video. And yeah, that'll be Saturday night. And depending on the weather, I'm not so sure what's going on. If we got good weather, I gotta get some other stuff done for the other channel video for Sunday. So, yeah. All right, guys, till the next one, have a blessed evening.